Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1-cent coin, what many people simply call the penny. We'll take a look at its fascinating history, how its value has changed over time, why it's still in circulation, and even how some rare pennies are worth way more than just 1 cent. So if you've ever wondered what's behind this tiny piece of currency, stick around, because we've got a lot to uncover. Let's start at the very beginning, back in 1792, when the United States was still a young nation. At that time, the US was in need of a standard currency. The country had just won its independence and was figuring out how to unify its financial system. In response, the US Mint was established to create a national currency. One of its first challenges? The need for a coin to represent the smallest unit of value, the 1-cent coin. In 1793, the US Mint produced its very first 1-cent coin, which became known as the chain cent. This coin featured 15 links of a chain, symbolizing the 13 original colonies and the 2 new states, Vermont and Kentucky. It was a symbol of unity. But as you might imagine, the coin was a bit too large and impractical for everyday use. It was heavy, hard to carry, and not very popular. As a result, the Mint decided to redesign the coin. In 1794, they introduced the cent, which was much smaller and more manageable than its predecessor. This design was the beginning of a long history of changes to the penny's design. Over the years, the penny's design would undergo numerous transformations, each reflecting the changing times and values of America. In 1856, the US Mint introduced the Flying Eagle cent, a coin that was much smaller than the previous ones and featured a majestic eagle in flight, a symbol of the expanding nation. But perhaps the most iconic of the early penny designs was the Indian head cent, which debuted in 1859. This coin depicted Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, and it was in circulation for over half a century. The Indian head cent is one of the most beloved designs in American numismatic history. In 1909, the US Mint made another significant change to the penny. In honor of President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the US Mint issued a coin featuring Lincoln's image for the very first time. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent showed Lincoln's bust on the obverse side, while the reverse side featured 2 stalks of wheat, which is why the coin was often called the wheat penny. The Lincoln cent was a game changer. It's still in production today, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in US history. But over the years, the reverse of the Lincoln cent would undergo a significant change. In 1959, the reverse side of the Lincoln cent was redesigned to feature the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the 16th president's legacy. This design would be used for the penny until the year 2009, when the US Mint released a series of special designs to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. In 2010, the US Mint introduced yet another update to the penny's design, this time with the shield cent. This coin features a large shield with the words E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many, one, a symbol of the strength and unity of the United States. While the penny has changed a lot over the years, it's still the same coin at its core, the smallest unit of currency, often found in your pocket or dropped in the parking lot. But the penny's continued production is something that sparks debate to this day. Many argue that it's no longer useful in today's economy, where digital payments and rounded-off prices are becoming more common. Despite the growing digital world, the penny still plays an essential role in the US economy. In fact, the US Mint produces billions of pennies each year, and there are over 150 billion pennies in circulation as of 2023. That's right! Over $1.5 billion worth of pennies are out there. But here's the catch. It costs more than 2 cents to make a single penny. The cost of production, due to rising metal prices, has led many to question whether it's time to get rid of the penny. In fact, other countries like Canada have already discontinued their lowest denomination coins. Despite these costs, the penny remains in circulation for one main reason. It's still widely used for making exact change, particularly in cash transactions. However, it's also a coin that many people keep in jars at home, as the sheer volume of pennies in circulation continues to increase. Now, here's where things get interesting. While most pennies are worth just 1 cent, some rare pennies are worth a lot more, sometimes millions of dollars. That's right, some pennies are so rare, so unique, that collectors are willing to pay big bucks for them. Let's start with one of the most famous rare pennies, the 1943 copper penny. In the middle of World War II, the U.S. Mint switched to making pennies from steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck using copper instead of steel, and these 1943 copper pennies are now worth over $1.7 million. Another valuable penny is the 1909 SVDB penny. This rare penny, produced in San Francisco, features the designer's initials on the reverse side. Because it was produced in limited quantities, the 1909 SVDB penny is one of the most sought-after coins in the world. In excellent condition, it can fetch tens of thousands of dollars. Then there's the 1955 double-die penny. This coin is famous for its minting error, where the date and lettering were struck twice, creating a doubled effect. The 1955 double-die penny is one of the most famous errors in U.S. coinage, and it can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $30,000 depending on its condition. These rare pennies show that, while most pennies are worth only a cent, there are a few that hold incredible value, sometimes fetching prices in the 6 figures. As we look to the future, one big question remains: will the penny survive? In recent years, the debate over whether to continue minting pennies has grown louder. Some argue that the penny is a relic of the past, while others believe it still plays a role in the economy, even if it costs more to make than it's worth.